What's up, bitches? Welcome back to another episode of Positively Uncensored, your favorite reality TV and interview podcast. It's your host, Leah.
That has to be the worst reunion I've ever seen. I really think it's up there, truly and really, the top 5 worst reunions I've ever seen. We're talking about Secret Life of Mormon Wives, Season 3, 1-hour reunion. First of all, who gave them permission to consolidate this down to an hour? As of December 5th, when we find out from cast members that allegedly this was a 13-hour session, and we see 1 hour of that, specifically the 1 hour that was selected when there was allegedly way more pertinent conversations that we would have liked to be clued in on. Who edited this episode? Name them. Like, I want to know who edited this episode, who signed off on it. Why wasn't Andy there? Why was Nick Vial there last year? What was the relevancy for Stassi Schroeder hosting this reunion? Why did they trust her to be alone and mediate conversations? What track record does she have that has proven that she is a good mediator? I am at a loss. I'm truly at a loss. Why was there a debate over who can wear that shade of red dress? Like, questions that need answers. Most importantly, I think that everybody's main takeaway for this reunion is, why was Dad Talk there? Why? The fact that Dad Talk has to become a part of my vocabulary, the fact that I have to adopt that into my language and acknowledge that as a thing, is already gross. But you guys saw your wives have success on this show, on your social media, and it made you so insecure that you had to have your own version, which, as Jessie pointed out on her interview in the Vial Files, is just them like fermenting, like cementing themselves in their wives' lives and saying, yes, by proximity of my wife, I'm interesting. Look at me. I'm a part of Dad Talk. We didn't want to see them on the show. I don't need it to exist. I think that they're all insecure. I think that most of them are abusive. I don't want to see anybody except for Connor. And that especially counts at the reunion. If you don't watch Bravo TV shows, a sentiment that's said during every season of Housewives ever is, it's not about the husbands. To quote Real Housewives of Atlanta, stay out of women's business. And for some reason, Dad Talk is just always in their business. Always. Now, I want to address the elephant in the room, which is only an elephant to me right now. I can hear myself out of my ear, which it has to be the most annoying thing ever. So if you see me trying to like pop my nose or like get my ears back, I think I'm coming down with something. It's 16 degrees here in New Jersey today. So if you see me being weird, try to give me some grace. Let's see if this tea, yeah, that didn't work at all. But I think what I was trying to get at is they shouldn't have been there. It's not about them. They're already in the show too much. They shouldn't have been at the reunion. They shouldn't have been there. Additionally, the footage that I'm assuming is like B-roll footage of us seeing their thoughts while their wives have the stage, I don't need any of that. The special guests that they did behind the bar, the awkward Duncan promotion. Layla, love you. Don't need to see your boyfriend right now. Who was the other person that they brought out? Any guest that they brought in, I'm uninterested in hearing from. The only person who would have been an interesting guest to bring out would have been the woman that was the family friend. Like the person that Dakota was talking about that Taylor and her family all knew. If you're not bringing her out so that we can put a face to a name to a face, I don't want to see it. So yeah, don't want to hear from them. The fact that the stage was cleared at one point and Dakota got to give some speech and try to downplay what happened with the family friend. Again, why is he here? Dakota's mask slips every so often and you're able to see who he really is. And I don't want to make a blanket statement. So know that I'm specifically talking about Dakota. This does not go for everybody who has had a substance abuse problem or has suffered from addiction. When he talks about the capacity he has had to lie to even people with who have cancer, to even cancer patients, to obtain their medications, and he was able to cry on the spot, and then I see him get emotional, it's very hard for me to find him sincere. And that's not because of the correlation to him being a former addict. It's because I believe that fundamentally he's just not a good person. Like, on top of that, I just don't believe he's a sincere, real, or nice person. That's firmly what I believe. To throw in Taylor's face that she was sexting him just the night before. And listen, this is not to shame Taylor in any capacity, because I understand how the cycle of abuse works. Add on the fact that they have a child together. Cut him off. Block him. Block the fuck out of him. Why do you keep texting him? Why do you keep texting him? Another thing that was glossed over, because we really learned nothing at this reunion. So I'm just going to give you like the bits and pieces that I took away. Finding out that I can hear myself again. Cut. Another takeaway I had is everything just seemed to move way too quickly. We didn't spend long enough on conversations that required more context. For example, I get it. Season 4, they want us to see Taylor's love life and the journey that she goes through with Chase, Miranda's ex. Why are we just throwing in there randomly and very quickly, glossing over the fact that Miranda and Taylor just recently made up? They were best friends prior. Taylor is dating or entertaining Chase, Miranda's ex. First of all, that's not very girl code of you. The whole thing feels icky. Miranda clearly had a lot of thoughts, and she was either not saying them or they cut them, but I could tell by the look on her face that she was perturbed by that. So the fact that none of the other girls, and somebody else made a face too of disgust, I'm forgetting who, but everybody had thoughts on that situation. Why weren't we able to dive in? And here's my issue. Season 4 shouldn't have been filmed prior to the reunion. In my perfect world, reality TV timeline should be reunion filmed, and then you film season 4 right after the reunion. The fact that season 4 is already filmed and then you go into the reunion with so much that you shouldn't say out loud that could spoil the future seasons, I think that that's poor production. I think it's lazy. I think it's greedy. And I think that I think that you're going to lose the audience. Like, I think ultimately your greed and your desire to just like keep consecutively like pushing out this show, I think it's just a bad timeline. Either put it out right away or don't film the reunion at all, because we weren't able to dive into anything really. The sheer amount of time that we spent over the Demi Marciano situation, when allegedly Lisa Vanderpump has said on the red carpet that they have footage that proves that Demi's allegations are opposite to what happened, or that they can't find footage to corroborate that. Let me say it that way. It was already annoying and problematic that they have used sexual assault as, I'm going to keep saying this word, fodder for the storyline, and for entertainment purposes, and given so little context, drag this out for so long, the message that it sends about believing women about sexual assault because of how things seem now, all of it in its entirety is problematic. Then we have Demi sitting there with survivors and bringing up specific details of what's happened to them to throw in their face why they should abandon their own judgments and believe her, contrary to every other fact that's been presented. It was gross, okay? And then the elephant in the room. All of these men, most of these men, in my opinion, are abusive, or the way in which they came into their relationship is questionable. All reference Jace and Michaela and the timeline that they started dating, their age gap. All reference what we heard about Brett being at a mutual party with Demi when she was a child. No, he didn't have interest in her as a child. Is it still weird to me? Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, we have the whole layer of Zach and Jen. the control that was happening on his end, Jordan and Jesse, the control and the emotional abuse that's happening there. It's just a lot of heaviness to just act like their behavior is from a place of love or protection for their wives or just normal or just a part of the Mormon culture. I saw somebody comment on my video one time and they said, I need every creator to start out their sentences with, "This is a cult." And that's how it feels. And that's how it feels. It feels like we need to say that before the start of anything. So yeah, even like Jace is sitting there and still talking about how, yes, intimacy is an issue for me in my marriage with Michaela on stage. First of all, this isn't an appropriate place to have this conversation. We know her history. We know that there's a lot of trauma there. This isn't the place for you guys to have this conversation in front of people. Okay, add on the fact that complaining about intimacy as she is breastfeeding your newborn child and was pregnant multiple times, and even to hear her talk about blacking out, like being in a space where she's blacking out while she's in the shower and delivering. Like, he has no concept for, number one, can't have a baby without intimacy. So you guys are clearly intimate. You obviously don't value the sacrifice that she's had. Like, it seems like they don't have pleasurable sex, but she's still willing to reproduce for you. Like, it's gross. It's all gross. It's all gross. I'm trying to think if there was anything else that we took away from this. Ayla is dating Chase's brother. She also had a prior history with Chase at some point. Is there anything else? Taylor's going to be the Bachelorette. I couldn't care less. The storyline with Chase makes me dislike even more the fact that she's going to be the Bachelorette. I don't think that we really even talked about Whitney on Dancing with the Stars, which makes me think that this was filmed well before that, which again, the timing in which they filmed this reunion and the length of time that it was to now, in my opinion, is problematic. We learned nothing. I don't want to hear from the men. To be honest, I wish every single one of them would leave their men. It was a lackluster reunion. There's really nothing positive to say about it. Again, I'm starting to be able to hear myself, and I think that's a sign that this reunion sucked. You're better off just listening to me in the recap. You won't miss a thing. You won't miss a thing not watching it. And with that being said, they better give us season 4 right away, since we know that it's already being filmed, and they clearly don't care about putting time in for a impactful or good edit because of what we got for the reunion. So honestly, like, just release it. And the last thing I'll leave you with is, we know Disney, we know Hulu, they're so money hungry. Why don't they offer the full 13-hour version of the reunion for us to watch in full and pay money for? I would watch it for many reunions. I would take over the course of several days to watch, skip around where I would like to. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me if you're even tapped into this show anymore. Has it gotten too heavy? Is it just too weird? Are you starting to not support like what we're watching? Tell me what you think in the comments. Tell me if I'm being too much of a hater, and come back for my next episode, which will be a recap of Love is Blind Italy, the first couple episodes, as well as just some general sentiments and thoughts I had as I've been watching the Diddy documentary, which is absolutely horrifying. Trigger warning if you watch it. Lastly, I lied. I am wearing this headband intentionally. Why? Whitney wears her hair care, her facial, her skincare headband out in public as if it's a legitimate accessory, and I wanted to pay tribute to her. Like this video, subscribe, leave me a review, do all of the things, and I appreciate you. Bye.